Today, we are diving into something really fascinating, a pilot study looking at a new kind of therapy. And it's not just about tackling stress in your mind, but about dealing with the very real, physical ways that stress shows up in your body. You know exactly what I'm talking about, right? That bone-deep exhaustion that sleep just can't seem to touch. Or those tension headaches that creep up on you. It's not just in your head, it's your body, and it's sending out a very clear signal. So, how does our body actually signal this distress? Well, think of it like an alarm system. It often uses these physical feelings to get our attention. And this isn't just a vague concept, it's a real phenomenon. And there's a specific name for it. They're called somatic symptoms. It's the clinical term for when you're feeling actual physical issues, like pain or major fatigue, that are really rooted in what's going on with you psychologically rather than some other illness. And the study we're digging into lists some super common examples that probably sound familiar. We're talking about constant fatigue, headaches, stomach problems, or even that weird shortness of breath. It's basically your body raising a huge red flag. Okay, so the big question is, what can we do about it? Well, this study explored two very, very different ways to get relief from these physical signs of stress. Let's meet the two contenders. In one corner, you've got relaxation therapy, a method that's been around for a while, it's tried and true. And in the other corner, you have frequency-specific microcurrent, or FSM for short. This is the newer approach, and it uses tiny electrical currents. Now, the study used a pretty specific type of relaxation called autogenic training. Just imagine a series of self-guided exercises where you really focus in on creating feelings of warmth and heaviness in your arms and legs. The whole idea is to trigger the state of deep, body-wide calm from the inside out. And then we have FSM. The core idea here is something called biological resonance. It's kind of like tuning a guitar. The therapy uses these super low-level electrical currents at very specific frequencies to, in theory, help retune your body's tissues and cells back to their normal, healthy function. But how do you actually figure out if a new therapy really works? Well, this study used what's known as the gold standard in clinical research, a randomized controlled trial. It's specifically designed to get rid of any bias and see what's really going on. So the researchers brought in 58 people who were all dealing with some pretty significant, clinically recognized levels of stress. This made them the perfect group to see if these therapies could truly make a difference. And the way they designed this study was actually really clever. They didn't just compare FSM to relaxation. No, they split everyone into 4 different groups. One group got FSM the whole time. Another started with FSM, then switched to relaxation. A third group only did relaxation. And a fourth group, this is key, got a placebo, basically a fake FSM treatment, before they started the real relaxation therapy. This whole setup let the researchers really isolate the true effects of each approach. All right, so the researchers measured everyone's symptoms at the very beginning, then again at the halfway mark after 6 sessions, and one last time after all 12 sessions were done. And what they found, especially at that halfway point, was really interesting. Here's the headline finding: speed. After only 6 sessions, the people getting FSM therapy said they had way fewer physical symptoms compared to the folks in the relaxation group. And this chart just lays it out so clearly. Look at the bar for the FSM group. It's so much lower than the relaxation group's bar. And remember, a lower score here is a good thing. It means fewer physical symptoms. That difference is pretty dramatic. So what did the actual scientists say? They concluded that FSM is a promising treatment and that these results are solid enough to justify doing a bigger, more definitive study to confirm what they found. But here's a really important piece of the puzzle. By the time they finished all 12 sessions, both therapies turned out to be really effective. Those physical symptoms went down and life satisfaction went up for pretty much everyone, no matter which group they were in. So while FSM might have been faster out of the gate, both paths eventually led to real relief. Okay, so after looking at all this data, what's the big takeaway? What does all this mean for you and your own well-being? Let's just quickly break it down. First, speed. FSM seems to offer faster relief for those physical symptoms. And if you're in pain, faster is a huge deal. Second, both paths work. Traditional relaxation is still a proven, effective tool for the long haul. Third, and this is crucial, remember, this was a pilot study. It's a very promising first step, but it's not the final word. And that leads to the last point. We definitely need more research to really confirm these findings.
And that kind of leaves us with this huge, fascinating question. As we learn more about our body's own electrical systems, could therapies like FSM that can directly target our biological frequencies become a go-to tool for managing not just stress, but the heavy physical toll it takes on us? It's an exciting thought, and only time and more research will tell.